Ever wonder why bakery desserts taste better? Here are some obscure baking techniques most people don't know. Rub citrus zest into sugar before mixing. It releases the oils and makes desserts far more aromatic. Rest cake batter for 10 to 15 minutes before baking. This hydrates the flour and improves texture. Add a tiny pinch of black pepper to chocolate desserts. It secretly intensifies the chocolate flavor. Use brown butter in cakes or cookies for a deeper, nutty flavor. Chill cookie dough overnight. The flavor develops and the cookies bake thicker. Sprinkle a little sugar on top of cookies before baking for a crisp bakery-style crust. Add a spoon of cornstarch to cakes for a softer, more tender crumb. Tap cake pans on the counter before baking to remove hidden air bubbles. Bake with an extra empty tray in the oven to stabilize heat and prevent hot spots. Let baked goods cool completely before cutting so the structure fully sets. Use these techniques and your baking will taste like it came from a professional bakery.
Most people think baking is just measuring ingredients, but small hidden techniques can completely change the result. And the last one is the real baker's trick. Toast flour lightly in a dry pan before using it in some cookies or crusts. It adds a subtle nutty flavor. Add a tiny splash of vinegar to pie dough. It weakens gluten and makes the crust more tender. Let cake batter rest for about 10 minutes before baking so the flour hydrates evenly. Dust berries with a little flour before folding them into batter so they don't sink. Add a spoon of cornstarch to cookies to create a softer, more tender texture. Bake with 2 sheet pans stacked together to prevent the bottoms of cookies from burning. Brush pastries with simple syrup right after baking to keep them moist and glossy. Grate frozen butter directly into dough for flakier biscuits and pie crusts. Chill shaped cookie dough instead of just chilling the dough itself for better structure. But here's the obscure trick many serious bakers use. Rub sugar with butter using your fingers before creaming. The tiny crystals cut into the fat, trapping more air and creating a lighter, softer cake. You say baking is hard, but honestly, most of the time it's just you rushing and hoping for the best. And the last one? That's the one you definitely keep doing. You trust your oven without checking it. Bold of you to believe something that lies to your face every time. You keep opening the oven door like it's a Netflix show. Relax. It's not going anywhere except collapsing. If you're still watching, comment foodie. Let's see if you actually fix this. You eyeball measurements. That's not confidence. That's guessing with consequences. You skip sifting because it's extra work. Then act shocked when your batter looks like gravel. You overmix everything like you're mad at it. Congratulations, you made cake-flavored rubber. You don't preheat properly. You just toss it in and hope heat magically appears. You cut into cakes early because you can't wait. Yeah, we can tell, you also can't bake. You ignore instructions you don't understand. Instead of learning, you just wing it. Brave. But here's the one that really explains everything. You don't pay attention. Baking is literally a science, and you're treating it like a suggestion. And somehow, you're still surprised when it fails. Many professional chefs are great cooks, but pastry chefs rely on very specific techniques. These small details can completely change your baking results. And the last one is a technique used in many professional bakeries. When making cake batter, alternate adding dry and wet ingredients. This keeps the batter smooth and prevents overdeveloping gluten. When laminating dough, rest it in the fridge between folds so the gluten relaxes and the layers stay defined. When making pastry cream or custards, whisk constantly, but avoid whipping air into it. If you're enjoying these pro-level baking tips, comment foodie below. When baking tart shells, duck the dough with small holes so steam escapes and the crust stays flat. When making cookies, shape the dough taller instead of wider to get thicker bakery-style cookies. When baking delicate cakes, line the pan with parchment on both the bottom and sides for more even rising. When making meringue, add sugar gradually so it dissolves completely. When baking breads, add steam to the oven at the beginning to help the loaf expand. But here's the trick many professional bakers rely on. Let dough or batter rest longer than recipes say. That extra rest hydrates flour, relaxes gluten, and often creates dramatically better texture and flavor. Most people cook pasta all the time, but a few small techniques can completely change the result. And the last one is the trick many serious cooks rely on. Start pasta in slightly less water than usual. The higher starch concentration helps sauces cling better later. Stir pasta more in the first minute than later. That's when it's most likely to stick together. If you're enjoying these pasta tips, comment foodie below. Undercook dried pasta by about a minute if you're finishing it in sauce. It will absorb more flavor. Use a small amount of the pasta's cooking water to loosen sauces instead of adding plain water. Heat your serving bowl before plating pasta so it stays hot longer. Add cheese off the heat when making pasta sauces to prevent clumping. Use a wide pan instead of a pot when finishing pasta in sauce for better coating. Toss pasta gently instead of stirring aggressively to keep the structure intact. But here's the trick many experienced cooks use. Create a proper emulsion by vigorously tossing pasta with sauce and a bit of pasta water over heat. That movement binds fat and starch together, creating that glossy, restaurant-style finish.